Welcome you all guys to the second session of Pandas data frame. So what ever we have done in the first session, we will continue. We'll start from there only. So first of all, day wise, I will be creating the separate IPYNB file and I will be discussing everything on that day. And simultaneously, I will be keep on pushing all the code on GitHub. So you will get everything on the GitHub. Fine. So let's first do one thing. Let's create one file by their name day2.ipynb file. This is the first thing that we used to do. So create it in your VS Code. Then let's start. So see. So we have created a Pandas data frame in our previous session. So let's recreate the same data frame we saw in the previous lecture where we had 6 rows and 3 columns. So this was my data set. So first of all, what I used to do before doing anything, first of all, we used to import this pandas and numpy. So let's do this. Let's import pandas and numpy first thing. Thereafter, I want to recreate the same data frame. So for creating the same data frame, what are the key things that you need to do? First of all, you have to create this list. So let's first create this list. I'm just copy pasting it from my previous session so that I do not need to write it again. You can also do the same thing to save your time because same thing we are repeating. So let's create this series. Let's create this list, sorry, not series. Thereafter, at the end, to create the data frame, what you need to do, you need to write this thing. In this way, your data frame will get created. Can you see? And now if I will access my data frame, I will get this thing. So this is the same data set which we have created in the previous session. I got the same data frame. Now, as you know, this data frame is having 6 rows and 3 columns. Now, if you will, the list that we have created here, if you will, let's access this list. So what actually we were doing, this names, ages and married. So basically to build a data frame, we are passing a dictionary to the pandas data frame. This is basically a dictionary and we are passing this dictionary to the pandas data frame constructor where each level represents the name of the column. This is name of my first column. This is the name of my second column. This is the name of my third column. So I will say name and each value in this dictionary, name and each value in this dictionary in this key value pair is the collection of values. So in this key value pair, this is in the form of key value pairs. And this is this value part is basically containing all the values. So this is basically a key. And these are the name, which is actual name. These are the values. Similarly, this age is a key and these are the values. This married is a key and these are the values. This is all we were doing right now. So with the help of dictionary, we were passing a dictionary to the pandas data frame constructor and we were creating the data frame. If let's say instead of this, here I am creating this data frame with 3 columns. Let's say I'm just copy pasting this thing and let's say remove one thing, remove this married part from here. If let's say you will remove this and now if you will create this, if you will execute this, what are the data frame that you will get? You will get a smaller version of the data frame which we were getting here above. And this is a smaller version of this data frame, because while creating, we have passed only two levels, that is the name and the age. We have not passed this married. So that's why we are getting a smaller version of the same data frame. So I think now the concept is relatively quite clear. Now let's see one thing. If let's say, take this thing and let's do one thing. Let's write it this here and run this. So basically, if you can access this thing, or if you will simply do not write df, if you simply write this and access this, if you will simply run this, what you will get? You will get this data frame. So what basically we start with, what we are doing here while creating this data frame, we start with the level. These are my level. We start with the level and we follow the sequences of values that contains the value for that column. So here we are basically using the column approach to create the data frame. This thing you should keep in mind. Here we are using the column approach, first thing. And we have managed to replicate the data frame we have already created. But one thing we should keep in mind here is that this list that is names, ages, and this married, which we are passing in to this data frame, should be of equal length. Here we have seen here the name list, ages list, and the married list all is having all the three is having the same length, that is 6. So the length of all the three lists are same. So whatever list I am passing here, whatever values that I am passing here, that should be of same length. If let's say, if I will access the length of this names, what shall I get? I will get 6. Now let's do one thing. Instead of passing these names, let's create a new list. Let's create one new list, new names. I'm creating this new names by the name, this new names. And I'm adding my previous name inside, in the previous name of list, I'm adding one more element. Let's say, add someone like Linda. Let's add this thing. So if you will add this, let's run it. Now my new names, if you will check the length of this new names, what you will get? You will get 7, because you have added one thing, because you have added one more element inside it. And if you will not check this new names, if you will check this new names, you will get updated names. That is, Linda get added here. And its length has also changed to 7. Now, if you will create a data frame, let's create the same data frame which we were creating previously. So I am copying and pasting this. Only thing that I am going to change here I am going to change new name, because I've created a new name. I want to change it to new name. So what you will do? New underscore names. Fine, new names. And let's run it. Let's run this. Let's run this. If you will run it, I'm getting an error. Can you see an error? And let's see what is the error that I am getting. All arrays must be of same length. This is a value error. That means whatever value that I am passing here, this is my value part, this is my key part, this is my key part, and this is my value part. Here my value part is having length 7, but these two value parts is having length 6. So there is a mismatch in the length. That's why I am getting this error. So this is very important. So this is a very important that whatever values that we are passing inside the data frame, all the values should be of same length. I think this is clear. Now let's move to something else. Now see, I don't want to spend too much time discussing all the possible ways of building the data frames because in reality, most likely when you will be primarily it will happen that in real life applications, when you will get a data, so you will be basically uh, importing the data, you were taking the data and manipulating that data frames rather than creating the data frame from very scratch. But at the same time, I don't think it's important that this is it's important to know that this is not the only approach to build the data frame what we have discussed right now. So there are other approaches also to create the data frame. So perhaps we should cover some alternative ways to create the data frame. So let's talk about a couple of other ways that we could have gone about achieving the same output. But there is one quick warning that I want to give to all of you. So this lecture may end up being a little tedious because we will explore multiple ways of getting to the same output. And it's very good for concept building, but it is not essential to proceed in the rest of the section. And therefore, those of you who are watching the recorded session, if you want, you can skip this part. It's completely fine. Now let's get started and let's explore some other ways to create the data frame. So let's talk about the first approach. Let me write here approach 1. What is my approach 1? The approach 1 is called dictionary of tuples. Dictionary of tuples. Fine. So what I am going to do here, earlier we have used the simply the dictionary. Now we will first create the tuples and then we will use the dictionary of tuples. We will see. So what I am going to do, this name ages and married, this name ages and married, this thing, what we have, we are going to, this is basically a list and we are going to create a tuple out of these lists. So first create the tuple out of these lists. So first is tuple, let's give it a name, tuple underscore names. And to create the tuples underscore name, we have to pass my name list inside the tuple. If I will pass my name list inside my tuple, it will get created, it will get converted into tuple. Similarly, tuple of ages, tuple underscore ages, fine, is equal to ages, tuple, then ages, let's write ages here. Thereafter, third is tuple underscore married, M-A-R-R-I-E-D, married. So this is all. So if I run this, let's see if I will access this tuple underscore names, what I'm getting. can you see this name, which was earlier in the form of this name, which is in the form of list? I have converted this in the form of tuple. Now I am getting a tuple. Similarly, if I will see these things, tuple underscore ages, this will also is in the form of tuple, and this tuple underscore uh, married, this is also in the form of married. And those who do not know these basic things in Python, that is what is tuple and what we are, so I request you, I will attach the playlist. There's my basics of Python playlist is there, so you can watch that playlist and brush up your understanding of these basic things in Python. So this is very necessary. Otherwise, you will find it difficult to understand these concepts. So can you see I'm getting all those things? So now we have three tuples. This name tuple, this age tuple, and this married tuple. And both one important point is that you should remember that both lists and tuples are ordered and iterable. But unlike lists, tuples are immutable. Tuples are immutable. We have already discussed these things. So now let's create the data frame with the help of this tuple that I have created. Earlier, I have created the data frame with the help of dictionary, key value dictionary. Now, I'm using in the value part, I'm using this tuple. So let's do it. Let's write pd.dataframe. And you guys, those of you who are present in the live session, I request you to keep typing along with me. Don't wait and simply watch, because I am going very slowly so that you can catch up with my pace. And also I'm speaking very slowly so that you don't have any issue in understanding things. If I will speak very fast, so it may be a problem for you. That's why I'm keeping my pace very medium. Fine. Now let's create it. So first thing that you are going to do here is, so you can write it like this. Fine. Let me write it here like, so here what will come? Married name, mutable. New names not here. Let me change this thing. So here what we will get? Tuple, tuple, tuple underscore names. Then here in ages, what will happen? Tuple underscore ages. And here in married, what will happen? Tuple underscore married. Fine. So I'm passing these tuples inside my data frame. I suppose this is same, ages is fine. Now let's run this. Can you see when we pass in a dict of tuples, this is basically a dict of dictionary of tuples, we get back exactly the same data frame, which we were getting earlier. See, this and this are exactly same. So this is another way to create a data frame. Here we are using dict of tuples, dictionary of tuples. Fine. This is a first approach to build the same data frame. Now let's come to the second approach. Let's write approach number 2. APPROACH approach 2. And this approach is like dict of dictionary of series. Dict of series. So what I am going to do, this dict means dictionary of series. So I can now, in this approach, what I am going to do, I will create a series, different series, and I will use that series to create the data frame. Correct? So So we know how to create a series. So instead of using this tuple underscore name, tuple underscore ages, this is a tuple here. Now instead of this tuple, I will pass series here. So it will become the dictionary of series, dict of series. So let's create the first series and first give it a name, series underscore names. This is my first series. And how to create a series? We know it very well. PD dot series, PD dot series capital and sorry, series capital SERIES series. And inside this series, I am passing my first this names. Create this series. So this series get created. Now, similarly, create another series, ages for ages. Let's create this series, AGES ages, and create this series. Now create the third thing called series underscore married, MARRIED married. Let's write here, pass married here, MARRIED married. Fine. So we have created 3 series. Now what I need to do? I need to simply pass these series to my data frame. See here, I'm just copying this data frame, pasting it here. Simply, I'm going to change this thing. Instead of this tuple, now I'm going to write series underscore names here, SERIS series underscore names here. Instead of this ages, I'm going to write series underscore ages, series underscore ages, and this married couple tuple underscore married to series underscore married. So this is basically my series. And if I run this, I am getting, this time also I am getting exactly the same data frame which I was getting earlier. So you can understand this. We have till now, we have all discussed the 2 approaches, and the first approach we have already discussed earlier. So basically with 3 approaches, you are getting the same output. That is the same data frame. Now let's come to the approach number 3. Let's discuss approach 3. Writing here APPROACH approach 3. This approach is called dict of dicts. Dict of dict. Dict of dicts. What is this means? So dict of dicts. So what I'm going to use here in this approach, what I will do, I am going to use a built-in Python function called enumerate. And those of you who do not know this enumerate, kindly visit my basics of Python playlist. You will get very detailed explanation of these concepts. Fine. So I'm going to use this built-in Python function called enumerate, which is like an iterator with a counter combined. So let's understand this enumerate function. The enumerate function. So this with the first, let me write this enumerate. If you write enumerate, and let's say if you will pass these names here, what you will get? You will get simply nothing. You will get this memory location address. So here you are not able to get anything very significant. So how we are going to use this enumerate, and why? Because by using this enumerate, we will be able to traverse the list, as well as we are going to access each item's position at the same time. You will understand what I have told you. You will understand in bit. A moment, let me write it. So instead of this, let's do one thing. I'm passing this enumerate inside the list. Let's pass this enumerate function inside this list. Can you see what you are getting? You are getting a list with you are getting a list of basically tuples which key and value pairs like that. Fine. This is basically a key and this is basically a value. It is like that. It is like a key value pair. Fine. So when you are passing this name, only this name, so this name Varun, Anu, Pew, Olive, Mirik, and Tilda, this is basically an index position, you can say. 1, 2, 3, you can understand it like that. So what I will going to do, I will use dictionary comprehension to create key value pairs out of this enumerated list. So out of this enumerated list, I will use dictionary comprehension to create key value pairs. So how to create the key value pairs? Let's do it. Let's write first. Let me write one variable dict underscore names, because I'm going to use the key value pairs here with the help of this dictionary comprehension. So how I'm going to use this dictionary comprehension? For using the dictionary comprehension, I have to write k is to v for k comma v in enumerate and then pass this names here. Simply if I will do this, run this, and let's access this dict underscore names and see what I'm getting. Dict underscore names. If you will access it, can you see whatever thing you are getting here? Basically, inside this enumerate names, this thing where inside this enumerate, basically this is a list. So I have used this dictionary comprehension to separate this key value pairs, and I am getting a dictionary with a key value pair basically. So this is for dict underscore names. Now I can use the same thing for dict underscore. I will create this variable dict underscore ages for ages, and I will simply pass here ages, and then let's dict underscore ages. If I will access it, I'm getting this thing. Similarly, if I will use dict underscore married, MARRIED married, and here also married, married, I will get same thing. Let's access this dict underscore married. So can you see? So now we have 3 dictionaries. Can you see? This one is one dictionary, this is second dictionary, and this is my third dictionary. And these dictionaries represent each of the 3 columns in this form. So basically what this dictionary are representing the column in this data frame. So we can we can now pass this thing inside my data frame and we will get my data frame. So this is not a big deal. We can pass the this thing to the data frame and we will get the data frame. Fine. But what I want, that this is basically, let's say here we have a 3 column. Here we have only 3 column. Let's say if you have 100 columns, or let's say if you have 1,000 columns or 500 columns. So it is a very difficult task. Like you have to write the same thing 100 times and then you have to keep on editing. So this is very cumbersome task. I want to uh, basically uh, uh, want to shortcut my tasks. I do not want to make my task very cumbersome. I want to make my task easy. So for doing the same thing, uh, instead of this, passing this enumerate function and creating this uh, dictionary comprehension every time, I will write one function and simply I will pass whatever I need to pass and it should give me this thing. So let's create one function to achieve the same thing. To make our task more efficient and less complex. So let's create a simple function and I'm writing the name of this function convert underscore list underscore to underscore dict. And what I'm going to pass here, I'm going to pass my list here. Because from the list, I'm going to create this dictionary because I'm converting the list to dictionary. So I have to pass this list, which we have created here. And in return, I want K is to V for K comma V in enumerate L. That is my list. This is my simple function. Now let's run this function. Now, simply what you have to do, if you want to create dict underscore names now, same thing which we have created earlier. What you need to do, you need to simply call this function, convert list to dict, and you have to pass the list here. What is the name of your list? Names. If you will simply do this, your dictionary will get created. Now, if you access this dict underscore names, you will guess this. Similarly, for creating this dict underscore ages, what you have to do? You have to simply call your function, convert list to dict, and pass this list ages. Fine. And if you will run this, you will get this thing. Now dict underscore ages, you will get the dictionary of ages. Same way, if you married, dict underscore married, fine. And if you will access this, you will get this dictionary. Can you see? So we have got this thing and now our task is easy because I've created one function and I'm simply passing all my lists inside this and it will keep on giving the dictionary. I do not have to do this again and again every time. Now when I have done it, now let's create the data frame from this thing. So how you will create the data frame? Let's copy this thing, Control C and paste it here. And now what you have to do? Instead of this series underscore names, what you have to do? Dict underscore names, which you have created. This dict underscore ages and this dict underscore married. Dict underscore married. If I will run this, I am getting exactly the same series which I am getting earlier. So these are the three approaches that we have used right now to create my data frame. So now in the next session, I will discuss one more approach and thereafter I will discuss something else. So I will discuss one more approach to create this series, and that, because right now what we have see till now, the approach that we are using to create the data frame is basically a column approach. So we are using a column approach to create the data frame. In the next session, I will discuss one approach in which I will be using the row approach to create the data frame. Is this fine? So this is all for the today's session. Let's save all our code, and let's push this code to the GitHub. Let's push this code. So second session of uh, Pandas data frame completed. Let's commit our code. Yes. Sync changes. Okay. So I suppose our code is committed. Fine. So now those of you who are present in the live session, if you guys are having any doubts, and I must say this thing very clearly, whatever live session right now I am conducting, it's absolutely free. No one is paying me anything for that. It's completely free. So you can join. And those who are present, and if you want to have a doubt, so what I used to do at the end of the live session, I take doubts. So you people can ask any doubts, whatever you are having. So let me stop sharing the screen, and let's open my video. So fine. So guys, if you guys are having any doubts, keep commenting on my videos, and keep sharing your experience, and please keep suggesting how I will improve your learning experience. So I am also keep on improving myself according to your feedback. Fine. So that's all for the day. Guys, please wait. Those of you who are having any doubts, I will take the doubts after the session ends. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Keep learning, keep watching. We'll meet you tomorrow, and we will continue our discussion from where we have left today. Thanks.